你好，你好吗？很好。I'm so happy to be here today talking about music because really there's nothing that I like more in life than playing music, obviously. So I'm very honored to have these amazing musicians, masters of what they do, for this talk, and to have you guys that want to learn about music here to share the thoughts about music. So the first thing I want to tell is that I'm going to tell you guys where I come from, but I want to tell you guys by playing some music from my country. Ita were were ita osuo ita were were ita ya oja gini wa ita ya ita were were ita ya ita were were ita were were ita osuo ita were were ita ya oja gini wa ita ya ita were were ita ya ita were were ita were were ita osuo ita were were ita ya oja gini wa ita ya ita were were ita ya. Voy conmigo en uno y currulao para traer arrullador y con mi alegre y llamador soy bullerengue y soy folclor. Voy conmigo en uno y currulao para traer arrullador y con mi alegre y llamador soy bullerengue y soy folclor. Ita were were ita osuo ita were were ita ya oja gini wa ita ya ita were were ita ya ita were were. I guess my story is very similar to Kyle, to Sushan, to Luoning, in the sense that we were curious kids, I guess. And somehow we ended up listening to music, and there was something fascinating about music. In my case, nobody in my family is a musician. I didn't have musician friends. I didn't go to a school that has a strong music program. But my dad loved his records. And I was very happy to see somebody pull some records, because that's how I got in love with music. So my dad was a very interesting character. He would have records of Brahms, Beethoven, Mozart, but then he would have salsa, La Fania, Héctor Lavoe, Celia Cruz. He would have Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, Satchmo, Beatles. So he had such an eclectic collection of records. And I remember he's sitting in the living room and he's conducting the London Symphony with a whiskey on his right side, and he's the happiest man on the planet. So I'm looking at him, I'm like this, and why is he so happy? And then that was one of the first things that made me realize the importance of music. So I became very, very curious about music. And then when I was about 7, he gave me a small keyboard. No music lessons, no nothing, just a small keyboard. And then I started writing my own songs. Probably they were pretty terrible, but I was writing my own songs. I spent some time like that, then I had some music lessons, and then I had a really important person coming to my life, which was my first drum teacher. He was not a jazz drum teacher, he was a rock drummer, right? So we started having some lessons, and after maybe the 4th lesson, he came with a tape, and he says, go listen to this drummer. I went home, and all of a sudden it was Chick Corea with Roy Haynes. So what is this? I've never heard this before. I like what these guys are doing. And kind of like what Kyle said, I realized I want to be a jazz drummer. Now the only problem is I'm from Colombia. There's no jazz schools in Colombia. There was no jazz clubs. There was no jazz happening anywhere. It was very unique to me. There was not a jazz culture anywhere. I did what I could. Basically, I got as much records I could, and I started learning from the records. After practicing for 2 years, I was practicing maybe about 12 hours every day and driving my neighbors crazy. Then I got a scholarship into a school in Miami. The rest is pretty much what happened to all of us, I guess, which is hard work. The beautiful thing about this music is that it needs so much work. Very often we got people coming to us and saying, man, it's so cool. You go on a stage, you guys play whatever, and then you get paid. It looks so fun. What happens on a stage when we have a jazz band is what should happen in society in general, which is we listen to each other. And because we have worked so hard with a lot of discipline, we try to be respectful to others, and we try to embrace others. Usually when that doesn't happen, we make sure that whoever is not doing it gets to know it. Because the main thing about this music is not the freedom that it has, but is the power to communicate in between the people on stage. Now, sometimes I see that one of the reasons that, the modern society has all these problems is because we don't listen to one another, and we are not as sensitive as we should. And this is one of the beautiful things about music. It makes us aware of other people, of being respectful and being sensitive. I'm going to finish with saying this, and I'm going to go back to what Kyle said. He said, I want to be a jazz musician. I want to be rich and famous. When I was a kid, when I was a teenager, and I decided I want to be a jazz musician, the first thing that came after that decision is I said, you know what? I'm okay with being poor, but I'm going to be happy. And that changed everything that happened after, because I took all the pressure of society out. And I'm just going to do my thing at my pace. Maybe it's going to take me longer, maybe not. Maybe I'm going to be rich, maybe not. But that was not important. I decided music is what is important for me. So thank you so much for being here, for being such a great audience, and I hope we get to see you here in the concerts. Thank you so much.